Why your dog stares at you while they poop. The vulnerability science behind that awkward eye contact. Your dog squats down in the grass, and right at that exact moment, they look up and lock eyes with you. Not away, not at a squirrel, not at the fence or the street or anything else. Directly at you. You laughed the first time. Maybe you looked away, a little uncomfortable, like you'd walked in on something private. But some part of you wondered, why me? Why right now? Of all the moments in the day, why is this the one where they need to look at my face? What's actually happening in that moment is one of the most revealing windows into how deeply your dog's brain has rewired itself around you. A vulnerability response so ancient, so instinctually loaded, that it tells you something about your dog that most owners never get to hear. Welcome back to Backyard Dog Mind. What we cover today changes the way you understand every dog that has ever looked up at you in that awkward, unguarded moment, and why that moment means so much more than you ever realized. And the last thing we get to is the part people find hardest to stop thinking about. Number 1. The most vulnerable moment in a dog's day. To understand why your dog looks at you, you first have to understand what is happening inside their body in that exact moment. Defecation is not a neutral act for a dog. It is, neurologically speaking, the single most exposed state they can enter. Here is what happens physically. The moment your dog goes into a squat, their center of gravity drops. Their hind legs are locked into position. Their core is engaged in a way that limits lateral movement. If something came at them, a predator, a threat, anything, their ability to bolt, to turn, to react at full speed is genuinely compromised. Not permanently, not for long, but for those few seconds, they are slower, they are lower, they are open. And the brain knows it. Deep in your dog's nervous system, in a structure called the periaqueductal gray, the region that governs threat response and survival behavior, there is a continuous background hum of threat assessment. It never fully switches off, but during moments of physical vulnerability, it gets louder. The autonomic nervous system shifts. Cortisol, the stress hormone, nudges upward. The threat detection system that kept your dog's ancestors alive for millions of years quietly announces, "You are exposed right now." This is not anxiety. It is not a disorder. It is a perfectly calibrated survival mechanism that has been running in the canine brain since long before dogs were dogs. And for most of evolutionary history, this moment was genuinely dangerous. Predators know when prey animals are indisposed. They have always known. The fossil record and predator behavior research both confirm that vulnerable moments, feeding, sleeping, eliminating, are when attacks happen. Your dog's brain remembers this, not consciously, not in the way you remember something, but in the way the body remembers things, deep, automatic, and very hard to override. So when your dog squats in the grass, something ancient wakes up just slightly, and it starts looking for safety. And what it finds is you. Number 2. Why the eyes go straight to you. Dogs are the only non-human species that consistently looks to human faces for information. Not wolves, not chimpanzees who are genetically closer to us, not any other domesticated animal at the same rate or with the same consistency. Dogs. This was documented formally in a landmark study by Brian Hare and colleagues at Duke University, and it has been replicated many times since. When faced with a problem they cannot solve, dogs look at human faces. Wolves, even hand-raised wolves with close human contact, do not. They look at the problem. Dogs look at you. This is not a learned behavior in the way we usually mean that phrase. It is not something your specific dog was trained to do. It is a species-level rewiring that happened over roughly 15,000 years of coevolution. The dogs who read human faces survived better. They found more food. They got more protection. They reproduced. And slowly, over thousands of generations, the ability to look to humans for information became part of the dog brain itself. There is a specific neurological circuit that underlies this. It runs through the fusiform gyrus, the face processing region, and connects to the limbic system, which handles emotion and threat response. When your dog makes eye contact with you, this circuit activates. And when it activates, something else happens. Oxytocin is released. Oxytocin is the neurochemical most associated with bonding and trust. It is released during physical contact, during nursing, during moments of safety between individuals who know each other well. And research published in Science in 2015, led by Takefumi Kikusui at Azabu University in Japan, showed that mutual gaze between dogs and their owners produces an oxytocin spike in both the dog and the human. Both. Your dog looks at you and their brain releases a bonding chemical. Your brain, without you doing anything, releases it too. So in that moment in the grass, when the threat detection system quietly sounds its ancient alarm, your dog's brain does the thing it has evolved to do. It finds your face. And the moment it does, oxytocin begins to quiet the alarm. Your dog is not staring at you awkwardly. They are medicating themselves with the sight of you. Number 3. You have become their safety system. There is a concept in neuroscience called the co-regulation system. It describes what happens when two nervous systems, two brains, learn to regulate each other, to calm each other, to use each other as information about whether the world is safe right now. Humans do this with other humans constantly. You walk into a room and scan faces before you decide how to feel about being there. You hear a sound in the night and look at your partner's face before you decide whether to be afraid. You are always reading the nervous systems around you and using them to calibrate your own. Dogs do this with you. Over thousands of years of domestication, dogs progressively outsourced a significant portion of their threat assessment function to humans. The parts of the environment that a wild canid would have to monitor constantly, sounds, smells, visual movement, the behavior of other animals, your dog partially delegates to you. You are, in a very literal neurological sense, an extension of their threat detection system. Researchers sometimes describe this by saying that the owner functions as the dog's external amygdala. The amygdala is the brain region most associated with fear processing and threat response, and for domestic dogs with strong human bonds, that function is partially shared with the person they are attached to. When your dog looks up at you mid-squat, they are running a security check. They are reading your posture, your face, the direction of your attention, the tension or ease in your body. They are asking, is my person relaxed? Is my person watching? Has my person noticed anything I should know about? If you are calm, if you are standing easy, maybe half distracted, maybe looking at your phone, their nervous system reads that and relaxes. The cortisol nudge quiets. The ancient alarm softens. The message gets through. The environment is clear. And here's the thing that becomes important once you understand this. If you are not calm, if you look startled or alarmed, or you walk away suddenly, your dog notices. Studies on owner-dog stress co-regulation, including research from Linköping University in Sweden, show that a dog's cortisol levels track their owner's stress levels over time. They are synchronized. They are linked. Your nervous system is one of the most powerful inputs into your dog's nervous system, and they are checking it in the moments when they feel most exposed. Number 4. The trust signal hidden in plain sight. This is the part that changes things. Your dog does not do this with everyone. Research into dog gaze behavior during vulnerable states consistently shows the same finding. This specific eye contact, initiated by the dog, held during a moment of exposure, is reserved for bonded individuals, not strangers, not neighbors they like, not the person at the dog park who always has treats. You. Studies on canine attachment theory, and dogs do form attachment bonds that closely parallel human-infant attachment, show that gaze during vulnerability is a behavior pattern associated specifically with secure attachment. Dogs classified as securely attached to their owners show more referential gazing, more checking behavior, and more comfort-seeking through eye contact than dogs with anxious or avoidant attachment styles. What this means in plain language? The fact that your dog looks at you in that moment is not random, it is not habit. It is a reflection of what they have learned about you specifically, that you are safe, that you are reliable, that when they check your face, the news is usually good. Think about what that requires. Your dog has built, over the time they have known you, a detailed internal model of your behavior. They have learned that when you are present, threats tend not to materialize. They have learned that your face tells the truth about the environment. They have learned, through thousands of small moments you were not even aware of, that you are a trustworthy source of safety information. And so, in the moment when their nervous system is loudest about vulnerability, they do not look to the perimeter. They do not scan the fence line. They look at you. That is not an awkward habit. That is the output of a deeply constructed, carefully maintained, neurologically real bond. That gaze, in that moment, is your dog's nervous system telling you, you are the safest thing in my world. Number 5. What your face does to their brain. Here is the last piece, and this is the one that people find hardest to stop thinking about. Every time your dog looked up at you in that moment, every single time, your face did something to their brain. If you were calm, present, unbothered, and most of the time you probably were, because most of the time nothing was actually wrong, your expression sent a signal through your dog's visual processing system, down into their limbic system, and triggered a measurable reduction in stress hormone activity. Your face, just your face, just the calm, ordinary expression of a person standing in their backyard thinking about whatever they were thinking about. Research on human-dog physiological co-regulation, including studies that measure cortisol in saliva samples taken from dogs before and after owner interaction, shows that calm owner presence produces a real, measurable drop in canine stress markers. The effect is strongest in highly bonded pairs, and it does not require active interaction. It does not require petting or talking or any deliberate soothing behavior. Presence is enough. You standing there, calm and unremarkable, is one of the most neurologically potent things that exists in your dog's life. Your ordinary face, your ordinary posture, your ordinary lack of alarm, this is medicine to them. This is what their nervous system runs on. And every time you stayed calm in that moment, every time you didn't make it weird, didn't startle, didn't walk away, you reinforced something in your dog's brain. You taught them, again, that checking your face is worth doing, that the answer will probably be, everything is fine, you are safe, keep going. You have been regulating your dog's nervous system in that specific moment every single time, without knowing it, without trying. That is what that eye contact has always been, in their most unguarded moment, when their body is low and slow, and the ancient part of their brain is quietly running its oldest alarm. Your dog looks for one thing, not the fence, not the sky, not the space around them where a threat might come from. Your face. Of every person they have ever met, of every yard they have ever been in, of everything their senses could reach in that moment, they look for you. That is not a quirk. That is not a funny thing to post about. That is 15,000 years of coevolution arriving in your backyard on a Tuesday morning, asking the question their species learned to ask. Is my person there? Is my person calm? And you were. And you are. And every time you were, something in them settled. Something ancient and alert went quiet. You are the landscape of safety your dog has built their nervous system around. That is the whole relationship right there, in the most ordinary, unglamorous moment of the day.